NTV, Central and Western Nebraska's most watched late news. This is NTV News at 10.
A fire breaks out in the center of Grand Island. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 10. NTV's Megan Johnson is live from the scene near downtown GI. Megan, we've heard multiple crews have been sent out there. What do you know so far?
You're exactly right, Sarah. Actually, the ladder truck that you can see behind me that's still fighting this fire is from Hastings. They've come to assist Grand Island. We have reports that St. Paul is also sending equipment to help with this. This fire is at the corner of 3rd and Elm. It's in the building that houses Ron's Transmission and J&J's Used Furniture. The fire seemed to mostly be on the J&J's Used Furniture side, which is kind of the east end of this building. Crews came here first around about 8 o'clock, so they've been here for about 2 hours fighting this fire. Now, it seemed like it was getting under control, like it was just the roof, and then flames spread to the outside of the building, and probably about half an hour ago, a big part of this building actually collapsed from this fire. Grand Island has recalled manpower and equipment twice for this, and more trucks have come. They've been attacking it from the roof, which is non-existent anymore, and from the ground both. So right now, I think they're just trying to keep the flames at bay while the rest of this burns. We haven't been able to talk to fire officials about what they think started it or if anyone was in the building at the time. We have no reports of injuries at this time either. It has drawn hundreds of people to downtown Grand Island to see what is the biggest structure fire I have ever seen. We'll stay with this story and we'll try to keep you updated throughout the show. In Grand Island, Megan Johnson, NTV News.
Thanks, Megan. Well, let's turn to weather now. Meteorologist Regina Bird is in with a check of your first alert forecast. Regina? All right, thanks, Regina. A Kearney woman has died from severe burns she received in a lawnmower accident last month. 56-year-old Terry Moreau of rural Kearney died Thursday at St. Elizabeth's Burn Center in Lincoln, where she was taken after the accident. Investigators say on June 30th, Moreau was driving a riding lawnmower that went out of control, flipped, and pinned her underneath. The mower then caught fire. Services will be held Wednesday morning at O'Brien Stratman Redinger Funeral Home in Kearney. For the second time in as many days, lightning has killed someone at Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado, this time a Nebraskan. Park spokeswoman says 4 people were struck by lightning near Trail Ridge Road yesterday afternoon. They were rushed to a hospital in Estes Park, but 52-year-old Gregory Cardwell of Scotts Bluff died of his injuries. On Friday afternoon, park officials said lightning killed 1 Ohio woman and injured 7 other people in the same Trail Ridge, which is the nation's highest continuously paved road. Officials say these are the park's first lightning fatalities since 2000. Farmers Cooperative plans to have their Pilger location back up and running by harvest. The co-op manager says he never questioned whether the elevator would be rebuilt after the June 16th tornado. The co-op was Pilger's largest employer. Blueprints for the new co-op have already been completed and new grain bins are on the way. Roughly 3/4 of Pilger was damaged in that storm. New restrictions on tanning beds and novelty lighters are about to become law. They're among 122 new laws set to go into effect in Nebraska on Friday, when the 3-month grace period from the end of the legislative session expires. Indoor tanning beds will be off limits to children younger than 16 unless they're accompanied by a parent or guardian, and they'll still need written consent. And Nebraska will only allow the sale of novelty lighters that have childproof safety features. Senators also approved major legislation to lower taxes and reduce prison crowding, but most of those measures won't come into play until next year. A candidate for Senate here in Nebraska is raising big bucks to fund his run. Ben Sasse's campaign announced today that they've raised nearly $1.2 million in the first reporting period of the general election. The Republican has raised more than $3.5 million to date. Democrat Dave Domina and Independent Jim Jenkins are also running for the Senate seat. Independent Todd Watson has also submitted signatures to Nebraska's Secretary of State in an effort to appear on the ballot. An internationally recognized drum corps is heading to Missouri after spending the day practicing in Hastings. Santa Clara Vanguard used Hastings College to practice on their way from a performance in Denver. The group of 150 performers and about 30 support staff have come through the area in the past few years. They say that's because the college has nice facilities and friendly people. Performers from around the world try out to be a part of the group, and those who make it have a rigorous practice and travel schedule.
Everyone here is pretty intrinsically motivated, and the reason why is because this activity is just really fun, and there's just a lot of hard work and a lot of good work ethic, and people enjoy being around that atmosphere.
The Corps is ultimately preparing for World Championships on August 9th in Indianapolis. The practice was open to the public today. Artists have traveled hundreds of miles to be in Kearney this weekend. Organizers say that's because the community's art in the park has gained a reputation. They say the event is hard to show in for a reason. Founders Larry and Sherry Peterson made a commitment to bring in high caliber work to the show. And whether it's traditional work like photography or something new like fused glass, it makes artists want to participate.
There's a lot of different ways to do the glass, and when somebody says, well, they haven't seen that before, it kind of makes me happy. It makes me think I'm on the right path.
I think arts are a neglected part of culture, and this is one part that Kearney has done very well, I think, to promote this type of art in this community.
Plans are already in the works for next year's event, and organizers are also looking ahead to the 50th anniversary. This year, a silent auction was held with proceeds being split between the Mona Library and a visual arts scholarship for a Kearney senior attending UNK. A historical baseball capital of Nebraska will be home to a special traveling sports exhibit for the next month. The hometown team's display is set up in the St. Paul Library. It was put together by the Smithsonian Institution and Humanities Nebraska. Videos, pictures, and objects detail how sports have shaped American history. It's not just about baseball, but the community opened the exhibit as part of Grover Cleveland Alexander Days this weekend, and the chamber director says it fits right in with St. Paul's love of historical sports.
Excellent museum downtown, and I think maybe that's a big instigator on getting it here because we have a famous baseball player from St. Paul and Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Hometown teams will be open daily at the library until August 9th. It will be on display in Lexington later this winter. Well, right off the top of the show, we told you about this big fire in Grand Island. Let's go back to NTV's Megan Johnson live on the scene. Multiple fire crews battling. Megan, what's the latest?
Well, Sarah, at least 2 downtown businesses are probably going to have to relocate as the building they're in continues to burn. This building is an older downtown Grand Island building. It had the Ford label on the outside and it said built in 1929. Most of it is gone now. It's Ron's Transmission and J&J's Used Furniture were the signs out front. I have not been able to confirm with fire officials if anyone was inside at the time the fire started. Crews have been here since about 8 o'clock. Grand Island is being assisted by Hastings, and possibly other towns have been called as well. They've had to recall manpower and equipment several times for this fire. We will try to find out more information and keep you updated on Good Morning Nebraska tomorrow.
Thank you so much for that live report. Thanks, Megan. Still to come on NTV News at 10, we'll honor 5 brothers who served in the Army, Air Force, and Navy in tonight's Sunday Salute. Well, for this week's Sunday Salute, we honor 5 Who's brothers who served in various branches of the military.
Larry served in the Army from 1959 until 1963. During this time, he was stationed in Korea. He passed away in a car accident in 1987.
Gary served in Korea as well from 1968 until 1970. He currently lives in Grand Island.
And Tony was stationed in Korea with the Air Force. He served from 1968 until 1972, and he currently resides in Overton.
Ron was stationed in San Diego, California with the Navy from 1969 to 1971. He now lives in Amherst.
The youngest brother, Doug, served in the Navy from 1970 until 1972. He was stationed in many different areas during this time, including Long Beach, California, Hawaii, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, the Philippines, and Vietnam. He now lives in Sumner.
Their sister Dixie Line submitted the nomination. She wants to say how very proud she is of her 5 brothers for serving our country, and God bless America. Whose brothers, thank you for your service to our country. If you have someone you'd like to nominate, just email us at sundaysalute@nebraska.tv. We'll be right back. Well, we're going to go back to our top story, a large fire near downtown Grand Island. Megan Johnson has been live reporting for us on the scene. Megan, I know you haven't been able to get a lot of information from firefighters, but we saw a lot of flames tonight. Is there any danger of this hopping the street or getting into other buildings?
This seems to be one kind of continuous building on this block, and it looks like it's pretty much contained to that building. Some onlookers tell me they saw it start more on the east end and kind of move to the west. It's definitely that east end that's taken the most damage. Most of that part of the building is actually gone. It was J&J's used furniture. It collapsed around 9:30 after firefighters had already been on the scene for about an hour and a half, and you can see that it's still burning behind me. A Grand Island Fire has called for mutual aid. Hastings and St. Paul are here helping them. Like you said, we haven't been able to get too much information confirmed, have not got any reports of injuries, but we don't know if anyone was inside at the time that the fire started. We'll keep trying to find out more and keep you updated throughout the night. Sarah?
Great. Megan Johnson reporting live. Thanks, Megan. We'll check in with you again. Obviously, an ongoing situation with those flames behind her. Well, in other news, our sense of smell could be an indication of Alzheimer's disease. Scientists say new research shows a decreased ability to correctly identify odors could be associated with a loss of brain cell function. The findings were reported in the Alzheimer's Association International Conference in Denmark this weekend. Researchers also found that eye exams could help in early diagnosis of Alzheimer's. While more research is needed, doctors say those findings are promising because it would make detection less invasive and could allow for earlier treatment. Well, still to come, the Miss Basketball Tournament is wrapping up this evening with the 20th annual All-Star Game. Next in sports, highlights from some of the best talent from around the area. Now, I know we want to update people on our top story, and you said the smoke from downtown Grand Island is actually showing up.
Yeah, sometimes you can see smoke on the radar if it's pretty extensive, and it is showing up a little bit on the radar. So that shows you how much smoke is coming from this fire.
Yeah, we've had Megan Johnson reporting from the scene all night. She says St. Paul is on the scene, Hastings, Grand Island, and it looks like they're going to be there for quite a while. We will update you tomorrow on Good Morning Nebraska. Thanks so much for watching. We'll leave you with this shot tonight, and stay tuned for NTV's Grow.